Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse with ROI Safety Services. I apologize for the mix-up on start time. I had some IT issues as usual. So we will get started as soon as I fix one more thing here. There we go. All right. So welcome. My name is Jesse with ROI Safety Services. We are going to go over why you need to have powered industrial truck training, or what it's otherwise known as forklift training, which is typically what most of us call it. Now, I'm going to go over a series of slides, and we will dig in a little deeper as to why you need this training as a business, a small business, whatever you're in, whatever industry you're in. Let me just change the screens here. I don't know what that is. Okay, hopefully you can see the screen okay. All right, better. All right. So again, we're going to talk about why you need forklift training, what the importance of it is, what's the risk as a small business, even if you have one person working for you or it's just you and you have a forklift, you still have some risk. So let's get into that. Now, why do I need training? Well, there's always this legal compliance issue that you need to deal with, especially those of you who are small business owners or even managers of smaller companies. You still can be subject to these insane notice of violation and fines. So if you're operating a powered industrial truck, a forklift, a scissor lift, a boom lift, anything under the material handling requirement, you will potentially face these fines of $15,000 and up to 70 plus if it's willful and repeated. So what does that mean? That means, for example, if you are operating a forklift right now and you're moving some material, and let's say the forklift fails and you hit somebody, or you have a significant accident where you damage property, and you're going to be held liable for this. Let's say the lawyers get involved. Not even talking about OSHA yet, but let's say the attorneys get involved. Maybe you damage some a really expensive car that your neighbor owns a restoration car company, and you end up hitting it and you bump it or you do whatever, and you haven't been trained on how to operate that pit. That person can come after you, not just to fix the vehicle, but he can go after you even more because you've never been trained on that vehicle. It's insane the potential risk you have for not being trained. You still will be held accountable for that, the damage you did, but if you don't have any training, it could be even worse. And imagine that same scenario where you actually hurt somebody and then OSHA gets involved. So then you have that individual that's injured, plus you have OSHA, and then you get the legal people involved, the Sweet James of the world going after you, and you have no record of training. That just makes it even worse for you. You got OSHA fines, and then you have potential lawsuits and loss of business. I mean, it could really get nasty really, really quick. So I would encourage you as a small business to get training. It's not that expensive. It's not even like an insurance policy. You just need to have the training just to use the piece of equipment safely. So, I mean, you just got to do it, get it done, and I don't want to say bite the bullet. That's a terrible way of saying it, but you just got to get training. Now, safety and accident prevention, OSHA estimates 70% of forklift accidents are preventable. I disagree with them. I think they all are. I think every one of them are preventable if you get the right training and if you're held accountable. So forklifts are involved in roughly 34,000 injuries and nearly 100 deaths per year. That's insane. Most of us will never experience a fatality on the job. Most of us will never even, we may hear about one, but we're okay. We've been doing this for 20 years until you haven't. until you face that one experience. Somebody's got to die, right? 100 years, somebody's going to have an issue. Somebody's going to get hurt. And is that person going to be you? I hope not. If you're being responsible for your business and you're doing the best you can to make sure that you take care of your employees, you will do the right thing, and you will do training, and you will hold your people accountable. And that really is the most important part of this, is holding everybody accountable to operating these powered industrial trucks safely. You go down any industrial park in any town USA, you're going to find 10, 15, 20, 30 forklifts, usually old ones, usually beat up ones, being used a lot of time for not what they're meant to be, not the purpose. Maybe they're being overloaded. They're being used to pull engines out of trucks and just doing really bizarre things, and that's when you see these fatalities, is when people are using them for what they're not used for. They've never had training. So we want to get you guys trained so you understand and get educated and learn how to operate the pit safely, the powered industrial truck. Again, forklift, stand-up lift, anything under that standard. And then it reduces your liability. Proper training will help mitigate some of the issues that you could potentially have as a business owner or a manager. Everybody has to have insurance, and if you don't have insurance, you will be held exclusively accountable for the payment, and you will have issues. So you've got to have workers' comp insurance. So the workers' comp insurance, when you sign a policy, you are agreeing to maintaining compliance with all the OSHA regulations. Even if you don't read it, most of us don't understand it, but when you have your workers' comp insurance, you are agreeing to having or implementing safety standards in your workplace. And you will be held accountable if you are not doing that. Operational efficiency, trained operators handle loads more accurately and safely. You reduce equipment downtime and extend the lifespan of the machinery. I mean, you spend a lot of money on this equipment, and we want to make sure you use it for its full lifespan. So what kind of training do you guys need? What do we got to do to get this done? You're a small business owner, you have a couple of employees, you want to do the right thing. There's really two main areas in which I would recommend you look at training. The number one, and this is, I highly recommend that you consider doing this, is you hire a third-party company. You have them come in, and they can do the full training for you in-house. And you have to do that every 3 years. And then you also do a train the trainer. Why would you want to do both of those? And this is the reason why. ROI, we love doing training in-house. We'll train anybody, anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the US. We get there, we want to train your staff. We evaluate everything. We give you hands-on training. We give you the highest quality training. Then we're gone. Those 3, 4, 5 people, 10 people we trained, they're good for 3 years. Okay, typically 3 years if they don't have any issues. Let's say a year from there, from that point, you hire another person. You certainly don't want to hire a third party to come in and do it. It just doesn't make sense. So what we do is we recommend that you take advantage of the trainer program. So while we're in your facility, we will also do a train the trainer. And then that way, during that 3-year gap, you can have somebody in-house doing that training. It just makes sense. You don't need to do it. It just makes sense as a small business. So that is what we recommend. When we get there, we're going to do the formal instruction. We're going to go over the classroom material with you. We're going to give you some good scenarios, some really good education. We're going to go out and do the hands-on with you and make sure you really get it. You understand how to operate that pit safely. And then we're going to do the performance evaluation and the assessment. And at the end of that training, you're going to get a certificate. And on that certificate, it's going to say that you're good to go. You're good to go. You you have passed all the requirements, the hands-on evaluation, and you're going to be good for 3 years unless you have any issues. So the curriculum must be tailored to you guys, and that's exactly what ROI does. And with the train the trainer, it's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to have your own in-house training program. So we will cover that with you. We look at your equipment. We talk about workplace issues that are very unique to you. This is why ROI is not a big fan at all of online training exclusively. We do online training, but that's a piece of the training. It's supplemental training for a bigger training program. Okay, so it's okay to do some of the training online, but you gotta have the site-specific training. There's no way around that with any topic unless you're tailoring the online training to your site, unless you're making your own training videos. There's just no way around that. JJ Keller has great videos, but they're not going to tell you about your site-specific, very unique issues you have there. Uneven surfaces, pedestrians, narrow aisles. A video that you buy online or a streaming video is not going to tell you that. It's going to help you. It's going to tell you to go evaluate it, but it's not going to do it for you. AI is not there yet. It's pretty close, but it's not there yet. What records do I need? OSHA doesn't issue any licenses. They don't do any of that. The employer is one entity that can issue the license. They can self-certify their employees, and then a third party, ROI, will issue out a certificate. I wouldn't call it a license. It was just you've been certified to operate based on our training and evaluation, and then you keep the records. You keep them. I'd keep them for the life of the record, maybe a little bit longer than that, but all training cycles for the powered industrial truck are for 3 years, unless you have issues. If you have an accident or a near miss, you're driving recklessly, then you must have some refresher training. Ongoing training. So every 3 years is what you need to have in refresher training. If you have a near miss or an accident, you need to have refresher training, and any kind of new hires that get hired during that 3-year gap in between a third party coming in. So ROI will provide you a train the trainer as part of our package, and we highly recommend that everybody take advantage of that train the trainer program. It just makes sense. Now, we are going to give you a free pre-operational trip inspection. My buddy over at R&J Materials in Corona was so gracious to give us a free operational trip inspection, and he did such a great job. He did 2 pieces of equipment, a stand-up electric and a sit-down brand new LPG powered industrial truck or forklift. So shout out to Jason. I appreciate your help here. You did a great job, and enjoy this pre-operational trip inspection, and hit up Jason if you guys ever need any material handling equipment. He's in Corona, and they'd be happy to help you. Thank you guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.
Hi, my name's Jason. I'm from a company called R&J Material Handling. We're located here in Southern California. We do sales, service, repairs, maintenance, anything and everything to do with forklifts here in Southern California. And today we're going to go over an operator's daily checklist on this Yale stand-up reach truck. So first of all, on an electric, first thing I like to do is check the battery. This is the main power supply for the forklift. So the connector here, this SB connector, comes off the battery, which plugs into the truck. This is very important to make sure that this is not broken, and it connects to the forklift nice and tight and secure properly. So once it's plugged in, that's going to give our forklift power. You want to make sure these batteries is secure, make sure it doesn't move. We're going to do a visual walk around, checking the tires, make sure there's no chunks, make sure they look good. Come over here to the load wheels. The load wheels look good as well. Check your forks, make sure they're secure. These actually should be down. Make sure the forks are locked in place. We're just basically giving a good visual. Make sure there's no debris or plastic in your wheels. Check the battery, make sure it's secure on this side as well. So after that looks good. Just kind of gotta get down, take a look at the drive tire. Drive tire looks like it's pretty decent shape. No chunks taken out of that as well. Once we do our visual walk around, make sure there's no oil leaks or anything, no damage to the forklift. We're gonna go ahead and get on. Once you're on the electric, basically, we're gonna make sure the emergency disconnect works. That's very important. So we're gonna turn the key on, let it power up. This has a heads-up display as well. Make sure that works. That powered on. Got my strobe light working. Obviously, you heard the horn. Horn works. So now we're gonna step on the pedals. Once you're on the pedals, it's operational. My horn works. I'm gonna hit the emergency disconnect right here. Boom, that shuts the forklift off. It's very important because in case of an emergency, you wanna make sure you cut the power off on the forklift. In order to turn it back on, you gotta pop it back up, and then you have to recycle the key again. Forklift's gonna cycle up, powered, go through its pre-schedule, boom. Once you hear the horn, ready to go. So first thing I do is check the lift. I'm gonna lift it up. Take a visual look at all the hoses, the chains, make sure the cylinder, everything is operational and no leaks. On this one in particular, I'm going to stop it right here so I could visually watch the pantograph, because this has a pantograph, it's a reach truck. I'm going to go ahead and reach out. This allows me to check the cylinders visually right here. I could look through the screen here. Cylinders, make sure there's no leaks. Make sure the pantograph goes out nice and evenly. This also has a tilt function. I'm going to check tilt. And this also has a side shift. So side shift left, side shift right, and center. So that all looks good. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down safely. And now I'm gonna check the driving operations. I'm gonna make sure my brakes work. I'm gonna go forward. And lift my foot off to stop the brake. Back on the pedal pad, go reverse. And lift my foot off. Brakes work, spectacular. Gonna go ahead and check the steering, make sure it steers. I'm gonna do a circle. Steers nicely. And stop. Once I check the operation, basically, we're good to go for our shift.